Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where we explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Boogaerts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about letting your message tell your truth and how story can be really a strategy, especially in this age of AI. And today, I have an amazing guest with me, Leslie Capps, and Leslie is a story strategist. And so she's a best-selling author as well and the founder of Wild Women Marketing, helping entrepreneurs turn their truth into traction using custom AI tools, brand clarity, and voice-first strategy. Leslie bridges the soul of storytelling with smart systems that convert. Her work empowers bold business owners to market from the inside out, which is just so awesome. Welcome, Leslie. I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was excited to visit with you. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's great to see you. So yeah, tell us kind of, how you got into this field of work and just why you're so passionate about it.
Right. Well, it probably would be a story, right? Laugh out loud. And that would be a while back. I looked over beside my desk and I have all these notebooks full of knowledge, literally tens of thousands of dollars of knowledge I paid other people for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet I was like, not to say I didn't gain something from each of them, but it wasn't ever like it fit me. And I'm sure all of us have had that sense of we spend lots of money, we expect someone to help us in our business, move us forward. And at the end they go, oh, it's because you didn't work hard enough. It's because you didn't follow the system exactly. And it dawned on me, like the system isn't built for me, right? I can follow Alex Hormozi's marketing because I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but I don't understand the way he thought about it, the way he approaches it, any of those nuances. And that's really what we were missing in business. And it shouldn't be that big a struggle. Like we should all be successful. So there's things that we're missing out of in the foundation to really create that momentum and create that success. And that's what I'm really passionate about, is that every entrepreneur, like entrepreneurship, I think could save the world and should save the world and will save the world, right? As long as we empower entrepreneurs to get clear on who we are, why we're doing what we're doing, how we're selling it, not telling people how, but how internally, right, we're selling it. Yeah, and let's face it, the world needs people to think outside the box, to address problems that the system can't. So yeah, I really feel passionate about helping entrepreneurs get clear on that messaging and start that ball rolling forward, creating a system that fits them, not like what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I've always found that too. Is like, oh, that doesn't feel right to me, and that doesn't feel right to me. And they're telling me do this stuff. I'm like, that's just not aligned with me. Or I see how someone else is selling, and I'm like, oh, like I don't want to be like that. Like I find there's a lot of like no's that I see, then I'm like, okay, but how do I want to be? And then I'm kind of, I know I was felt kind of like lost about like, well, I don't even know what I can do because I don't want to do all these things. But then what's left,
Right?
It was like,
And I think that is the overwhelm. You articulated it so well, is you're like, nope, 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 nope. But where's the system that fits for me? And how do I like find that, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that takes a little bit of kind of soul searching and it can be kind of scary because you're like, but they tell me that this works and that person tell me that works, but I'm saying no to all these things that work apparently. And so like, what if my thing doesn't work and then I fail? Like,
Right. We start down the rabbit hole rodeo.
yeah, right? So how does, running your business with authenticity, what does that mean to you?
I think it's a great question. And again, back to what we see versus who we are and how we choose to do business. Um, and so for me, I know it's very values laden, right? And I think it's important for each of us to figure out how our values play into that. Uh, Honesty, integrity, those kind of values. Like I'll walk away from collaborations, companies based on that. But that's who I know I am. So it's that ability, and I think we all have to find that, right? Looking in the mirror every day and going, okay, did I do the right thing? And who is the person I'm becoming? Not like who I am right now, but what is that future person? How are they acting, behaving? The one with everything we want in business, relationships, health, whatever it is, right? Um, so I think being able to see that person and then move into that person and how would they behave? Because let's face it, business has all sorts of triggers. Just this morning, fighting with Loom. Come on, used it 100 times, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I feel like a second grader trying to figure out Loom. Um, so yeah, there's all sorts of things that can really derail us or rebranding, right? This is something I hear a lot of people talk about. It's like we got a branding gasm going on. Like I'm just going to rebrand and somehow that's going to change who I am. Nope, you are the brand. Like I changed the colors on my website. 10 minutes, I'm rebranded. I'm still the same person, still the same messaging, you know? Um, so yeah, I think it's really being aware of that and how that impacts your business. And obviously that kind of that inner story too driving you.
Mm.
Does it truly show? Does it show what we're doing in our business, how we're running our business? Or is it like this thing we made up or this past story we're living, right? A story
Right.
from our past that's no longer aligned, but we're not letting go out of. So now we have this misalignment going on.
Yeah, and it's interesting how that stuff can kind of sneak up on you, or like you feel like you're going in the right direction, then something will kind of pop in, and you're like, oh. I kind
Right?
of noticed
Right.
like that with myself a little bit with like kind of wanting to be the good girl, or I have to work really hard to prove my worth, so I have some client and I'll like give them my all and I'll like almost burn myself out or something, and then other clients like maybe won't get everything because I'm trying to impress this new, and then I'm like, who am I being right now? Like, I thought I got rid of this whole good girl thing a long time ago. Here she is.
Yeah,
Hello.
right. He's back. Well, yeah, entrepreneurship is the greatest personal growth program in the world because all that stuff you've dealt with, like it's just peeling the onion, and you cut, like just like you said, you come along, you're like, seriously? I know I dealt with it. Seriously? And it's back. Here it's back. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you think that we can reshape business to be more in integrity?
Mm, yeah. I guess, yeah, probably all of us has a slightly different view of integrity, right?
Yeah.
That creates some interesting things. Just having had some experiences this week where I was like, that's totally not integrity for me, but obviously someone else felt it was for them.
Mm.
But really, I do think it does come down to taking accountability of exactly where we're talking about the personal growth aspect of this, as well as the business aspect. Um, yeah, I'd say 99% of people I meet have amazing products, right, and services that really need to be out in the marketplace that could help people, but they're stuck in their own muck, for lack of a better word. So integrity, I think really, like I like to talk about the guru gap, right? That they want to say, oh, here's the solution. Come down the bottom of Grand Canyon with me. And then I'm going to give you a step stool to get out because it's all on you. Um, so I think really trusting ourselves, coming back to that place where we know enough already, right? We just don't quite know how to make what we know work, and more creating systems for ourselves and saying, yeah, I'm not buying into exactly what you were talking about. Like, nope, nope, that, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It doesn't feel like me, but I'm going to find my way. So,
Mhm.
yeah, and it is not an easy journey, right?
Yeah,
To do
for
that.
sure. Not easy at all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's dive into this whole like letting people's message tell their truth and story and strategy and AI and all of that.
Right?
What's like the biggest myth about using story in business?
Biggest myth. I think because there's a bunch, but I hear this a lot still is I don't have a big story, right? I don't have like the hero's journey kind of thing.
Right.
Um, yeah, and
Mhm.
suffering is optional in stories. We've all suffered some way or the other, but that's really not, I don't see that as necessarily a key component. Really, it's more connecting with people on an emotional level. And once you start telling stories, then anything happens in your life, it becomes something about what you do, right? A lesson, a bridge to who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. So, like, I have stepped in deer poop. I've had a skunk in the window well. I'm trying to think of the other, right? And all those, like, I tied back to marketing
Hmm.
because that's who I am, right? That like I really love marketing. I think it's if we can get figure out our marketing, everything else becomes so much easier and we just flow in our business. And really, so it is that story. And sometimes it's the internal one we're saying, right? That I'm
Mm.
not a great marketer. I'll tell you, and this is the reason I know everyone's a great marketer. I had a woman sell me a turkey in Walmart the other day. I'm not a super huge fan of turkey, but she said, "Oh my God, look at the price! And if I would buy two and put them in my freezer if I had room. And my grandkids love turkey, and this is the way I like to cook it." I was like, "Okay." Like I'm sold. She didn't work for Walmart, Butterball, or anything. Like I walked out with a turkey, and when I got home, I was like, I don't even really like turkey, but I got a turkey. So I know, and we're really great, right, about other people's businesses. Like we love
Mm.
to market our friends and we come across somebody that does great work. We love to market for them. So like we have those genes. We just get all freaked out about doing it for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And then yeah, you're right. There's a bunch of stories behind that, like we shouldn't do this or we shouldn't brag or be cocky or whatever, and it's like you put others first, who are you and ego and all that kind of stuff. And that all gets in the way. So yeah, and especially I find as women as well, we're kind of told to be quiet, you know,
Right?
don't stand
Yeah,
out
that
kind of thing. And
yeah,
it's really hard to get around that. And you're right, because it can be like any kind of little story that you can share and bring it back to your business in some way. And people will resonate that, especially when they're just real authentic stories where you're just in your integrity. And yeah, you're like stepped in deer poop the other day. And was like, oh, I hate stepping in poop. Like everybody can relate to that. We've all stepped in poop.
right? Right, exactly. And then you tie it to marketing, they're like, oh yeah, now when I think about marketing, I'm gonna think about deer poop. Yeah, trying to scrape it off my shoes. Yeah, and embarrassed about that I stepped in some sort of poop, right?
Yeah. So linking this to AI, how can AI actually support authenticity in business and
Oh,
not erase it?
right. Such a great question. Because I'm a super huge fan of AI. I don't I don't think in a very linear way. I think more in a circular way. So that AI's ability to track with me is phenomenal because there's many people that I'm a fire hose for them, right? And their eyes just roll black and they're like, holy moly. But AI is like, bring it on, bring it on. Um, but yeah, if we can uh, use AI to make us be better humans, make us help us do the things that we're really great and not the things that we're super maybe that we struggle with. I was never see we're bad at, right? Because yeah, it's just all a matter of your preference and who you are. But yeah, so creating custom GBTs to help people tell that story that they're avoiding, right? Because people sometimes we can help them get it out. Sometimes we need a non-judgmental entity that is saying, okay, tell me more, and this is what I see for you. Or marketing, right? The ability, I think AI's ability is this huge super brain of ideas and ways to make things work that if we can harness that, oh my gosh, anything is possible then, right? I created a marketing strategist GPT. So you go to her when you're getting hung up in your marketing and say, well, create me a strategy, create me a content calendar, create me website copy, whatever it is, because she's asked you those questions of, what do you do? What's your story? Tell me about you. So really, it's a beautiful, it can be a beautiful collaboration.
Yeah, yeah. And as long as you like feed it the right information, right? Like your authentic story and your writing and that kind of stuff, right? And then it can you
Absolutely, right? If you put in generic stuff, it's giving you generic stuff back.
right.
And I'm not super huge on particularly prompting, because I think that hangs us up too, right? Like use a certain prompt a certain way, then we get a certain response. Um, yeah, and that's kind of what led me to creating custom ones was how can I shape this or give this machine a structure and a framework that then people, they don't need to know everything I know about marketing. They don't need to know everything I know about story, right? But they can use that GBT and get guided and get feedback and learn the process in using the GPT.
Right. Yeah. I don't actually have a custom one. I don't really use Chat GPT too much. Um, because I don't do a ton of marketing, I guess. I do more just like networking.
Right?
So I haven't created one yet, but I've always been intrigued by it and I'm wanting to dip my toe into that.
Right? Yeah. Well, it's there is yeah, there is something to it. And like I'll just say I'll claim it, right? Somehow I am gifted in translating between AI and human. And no joke, don't know about it, don't understand it. My AI, she's like, I don't know, but whatever you got, we're just moving on with it. So, um, but yeah, creating that ability to make AI more of a collaborator than um, just a research assistant. And not that that's not great, but yeah, once you start utilizing it, you're like, wow, wow.
Yeah, I love it. And there's so many different AI tools out there. It's kind of crazy.
For sure, for
It's
sure. And
crazy.
more coming, and the ones we're using now are getting upgraded all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's super cool. And yeah, I would encourage every entrepreneur should be delving into some aspect of AI just to keep aware of what's going on. You can just do so much with it.
Yeah, for sure. I want to kind of take us back to your, you being marketing and loving marketing. Like, why do most marketing strategies fall flat emotionally?
Emotionally, because we're not invested in it, right? It's, I
Mm,
would say it's misalignment with whether we've followed somebody, we're trying to follow their system, or we've hired someone. I ran into a gal a while back, and she said, "Well, I'm running Facebook ads," and I said, "Why are you doing that?" Because I knew what she was doing, right? And she's like, "Well, I met so and so, and they said that was the way to go." I said, "Is your audience on Facebook?" No. Okay, well, we got a problem there, right? And a misalignment and somebody that didn't say or understand her business enough. But it's also, like you said, those systems where we go, like in my gut, I'm like, that doesn't feel right to me. I don't like that, but I'm going to go on because it might work.
yeah.
So I say, I think most marketing strategies don't work for that reason. We're not invested, our story potentially is not invested within the whole thing because really at the end of the day, we are the brand
Yeah.
and that's how we need to show up. Whatever that means, right? I always tell people lean into what makes you unique, quirky, whatever it is, right? Yeah, just lean into that and forget all these people say, "Oh, well don't you can't say and you can't say this and don't talk with your hands because you can't see me, but I talk with my hands, whether like even to myself I talk with my hands, right? So um
Me too.
but yeah, just those kind of things are what people resonate with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
right?
just
The
being
things we
human,
think
right?
are like,
Yeah.
eh.
Exactly. Um, you were saying something about that. Something popped in my head, but now I've forgotten what it was. Um, well, anyway, I'll go to the next question. Maybe it'll come back to me. So you have an AI tool, right? Called Story Spark.
I do. Actually, I have lots of AI tools. Like, don't tell anybody, right? But I'm kind of a, yeah. In fact, I have like about 15 and always I've got a list of about twice that many. So yes,
Wow.
I do.
So how does Story Spark help people shift their voice?
Right? Um, we'll give you ideas. So it's kind of one of those, I would describe it as maybe a tool that help you pull out the story. Or if you say, gosh, I don't even know that I have a story, right? How do we get beyond those misconceptions? Because
Mm.
everybody's got story. Once you get started telling stories, then you realize you got lots and lots of stories and you can make up stories on the spot. That's the beauty of learning some sort of framework around storytelling or just starting to do it. So yeah, Story Spark is kind of designed to help you find those stories.
Oh, cool. And so it can help, yeah, so through that's how they can shift their voice. Is that what you mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You start, I think it's really, well, I'm sure and all of us are natural born storytellers, right? Again, that's been beaten out of us some way or the other. We've told a story people said, oh, that's ridiculous, or we have hangups about stories too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and then I totally lost my train of thought where I was headed with that.
It's all good. And so based on what we kind of spoke about today, what do you think a good action would be that our listeners could take? Would it be like trying your Story Spark tool?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's free. You just need an OpenAI, a free account. And once you start using it, you can use it in multiple different ways. One of the things I love about building GBTs is they do not follow my instructions. They go rogue all the time. So I wouldn't be surprised she could help you something else besides your story. They each end up having some sort of interesting personality quirks about them, the way they ask questions or the way they interface. Um, but yeah, it's a great introduction to get started using AI. You'll have, as you can tell, I don't like necessarily take everything super seriously. So I usually try to infuse a little bit of humor in them. And again, some of them go with that flow. Others are very like to the point, like this is what we're doing, pay attention kind of thing. And I don't know where that came from. Um, so yeah, that's absolutely a great way to do it. And then just really thinking about how your personal story ties to your business. Um, and you should always, when you tell a story, always have a goal, right? If it's on a podcast, you have a goal to move the people to trying your free gift. When you are in networking, your goal is to connect with those people, right? Find some way that they go, oh, I want to learn a little bit more. Um, in our content, like have a goal. And even if the goal is just inspiration, connection, like it doesn't have to be, right, as sales or anything like that. We get probably a little too focused on the selling end. And there's lots of goals that come before the selling.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. And there's lots of like nurturing that needs to happen and marketing and different touch points and all these kinds of things. And sometimes it can
Yeah,
be, you can have like lots of different stories too. And I find that someone might just resonate with one of them. And that's how you start to build a relationship and build that connection because of this one particular story where other ones didn't resonate with them as well. So I think it's kind of good to have to bring in different things and sometimes it can just be a little. I remember I learned this when it was some email marketing program that I did. They talked about that. Like when you're writing an email, it could just be like a one sentence, like you're talking about something like, oh yeah, just like when I did this yesterday, and it's just like
right.
half a sentence, that's even just a little teeny tiny story that can just throw in there that people will resonate with.
Exactly. And it's just showing that piece of you, right? That
Mhm.
little sliver of your life or the way you think or whatever. Like dogs is always a great one. Because people then who have dogs are like, oh my gosh, I love her. I don't care what she says, right? Because she has a dog.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's, just, and I think that's what stories do very naturally, is they allow people to see those pieces of ourselves that aren't necessarily personal, but
Hmm.
who we are, our personality is interwoven in our brand and ourselves. And there's no getting around that. And that's the beauty of what makes us unique and what makes our stories stand out.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you. This has been I've loved our conversation. So where can our listeners find you online?
Sure. All the usual hangouts, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Uh, yeah. Or wildwomanmarketing.com. You can always reach me there too.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And
Thank
to finish
you.
us off, do you have any final words of wisdom?
Any final words of wisdom? I always have, I always make something up, right? Um, yeah. What is it that strikes me? I would, I guess I would say, that really the gold you're looking for in your business is within your story. And once you can tap into that and have it help you lay the foundation, because it incorporates everything we talked about today, right? Thinking back to kind of how we started was values and authenticity and connection. All those things are built into a story naturally. So tapping into that, you're really going to find the gold in yourself and the gold in your business.
Amazing. Thank you. It's been so wonderful having you on the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed it, Elisa.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.